What is happening, sports fans? It's your main man, Matt, from the DFS 5-pack. It is Wednesday, February 16th. I am rocking it solo, unfortunately. DFS Patriot had some things to take care of today, so we'll give him a day off considering he's got a new baby in the house, etc. So hopefully things are going well for him over there. Meanwhile, we got some NBA to talk about. I just made the members-only video. That's actually processing right now while I'm making this one. So 2 videos today. Figured since it's an 11-game slate, a big boy, I'll get that out there for our members and then come on here and talk about 5 of my favorite plays. As always, I appreciate you guys for hopping on and watching this video. Before I dive into the hoops, I'm going to talk about and shout out our promoters real quick. First off, Jazz Sports. When you sign up and join Jazz Sports, you get a no-risk wager up to $1,000 in your first bet. This deal will not be lasting for too much longer, so I recommend everyone check it out. That's $1K back if your first wager is graded a loss. Just really an unbeatable deal. The promo code is 5-pack. The link will be in the description section. Joining that link in the description section will be a link for Loose Lines. Loose Lines is an affiliate of Jazz Sports. They offer really good lines and odds over there, reduced juice, and a ton of other good perks. When you sign up over at Loose Lines, you get 50% off your first deposit. So, again, check them both out. Promo code for both is 5-pack. That said, we got some big time. We got a big time NBA slate to talk about tonight. Excited to get on here with you guys. Had to do a little bit of my own hypothesizing here, and again, we don't know the status of Anthony Edwards. We don't know the status of Ja Morant, but I'm assuming that neither of these guys plays. We know what assuming can do, so maybe I might look like an idiot. But if these guys don't play, these 5 guys are 5 of my favorite plays on the slate. If Ja's in, obviously we're not looking at Tyus Jones. If Edwards is in, I like Russell still, but not a must. And Jaden McDaniels is far from a must, even though he's still a fine look at 3,500. These plays are if Morant and Edwards are out, which I assume they will be. So starting off Tyus Jones, we saw what he can do last night. Stepped into Morant's role, played 32 minutes, dropped 44 DK points. He's obviously not as good as Ja Morant, but he's much better than a minimum price player when he's starting. So at 3,100, just lock him in and move on, assuming Ja's out. One of the easiest plays you'll get. Not quite like Drummond, a few weeks ago when he was like under 4K, but the next level of locks, he's on that tier for sure. Next up, D'Lo. Assuming Edwards is out after leaving early last night, how do you not look at some Timberwolves exposure here? Towns obviously balled against Charlotte last night. I like him again, but D'Lo's my favorite. For those of you who've been watching and follow me for a while, know I'm a huge D'Lo fan. Ohio State boy. I love me some D'Angelo Russell, and I love him tonight, assuming Edwards is out. Wasn't spectacular last night, but dropped 42 DK points in that overtime win against Charlotte. Minnesota's feeling some good mojo right now. Played 37 minutes, but again, only shot 5 of 20. I love that he took 20 shots. Love that he took 14 threes, was 4 of 14 from 3-land, 11 dimes. I think you can go right back here. If Edwards is in, he's a good play. If Edwards is out, he's one of the best plays on the slate. Next up, Jaden McDaniel. So, again, in the absence of Edwards last night, McDaniels filled in admirably, played 32 minutes in regulation, filled up the stat sheet, and that's what this guy can do. Again, if he were 5K today, I wouldn't be wanting to chase this, but he's not. He's 3,500, close to the minimum. If Edwards is out, kind of like Tyus Jones, if Morant is out, just play him and move along. All right, next up, my favorite value play on the slate, non-injury related, with Isaiah Jackson already ruled out, just really helps me solidify my love for Jalen Smith. 17 minutes, fouled out, which is pathetic, but he fouled out in 17 minutes last night, still put up 25 DK points. Much better spot for him to stay out of foul trouble here. Played Giannis last night. Tonight going against a much smaller, much worse Washington front court. Still 3,900. As of right now, without knowing the injury news, he's my favorite value play on the slate. He's a guy that will definitely be in if I made one lineup tonight, he'd definitely be in it, assuming he's right back in the starting lineup. And then quite possibly my favorite overall play on the slate is Pascal Siakam. So with 2 rough games recently, his price is down. He was not very good at all against New Orleans, and they got rolled, so he lost run. Houston, he fouled out. With Van Vliet questionable, Siakam is, like I said, potentially my favorite play on the slate. Great spot against a potentially tired Minnesota team who's coming off that overtime win last night. Siakam has just been balling. His price had increased consistently to over 10K. I think that's where it should have been. He's playing massive minutes. I love the spot for him. With Van Vliet out, if he's out, he's my favorite play on the slate. If he's in, I like him a lot. So, again, good spot against Minnesota. The game log, aside from those 2 games, is on fire. I mean, dude is balling. I think he's too cheap for his role right now and tonight specifically. And I love him in tournaments that not really projected for high ownership. Let me check that quickly if I can. So right now, I'll leave you guys with this. He's only projected to be 13% owned. Again, it's a big slate. There's other great plays on the slate, Julius Randle, et cetera, et cetera. But I love Siakam as kind of a lesser owned option with 60-point upside easy here. So that's what I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want more info, more content, more me, more Patriot, more Ryan eventually, come check out the DFS 5-pack. We'd love to have you. We got some good things coming up, baseball in the near future if they can ever end that lockout. So as always, I appreciate you, and let's crush this Wednesday slate. Thanks again, guys.